Hi. But so I wanted to show you some of the ways that I would go about approaching this question, but I didn't find the definitive answer. I think you and I both have to maybe dig in and comb a little bit further, and I'll ask some of my colleagues if they have any ideas either. Excuse me. So here's the three places that I would start. First one, in the library catalog, there's a lot of books, and some of those might give us ideas. And so I was looking for research question or research questions, and I found methodology was part of it. But then when we get into methodology, then we get into like instruments and like other stuff, populations. So I'm not sure that would be the right direction. I think I know where you're going. Having said that, in the library catalog, there's two things you could search for, and I'll do. Well, I don't know if it'd be worthwhile switching them up. Authorship. Authorship, I think, is a big deal, and there have been analyses of authorship. But one of the problems is if you're analyzing the authors themselves as kind of like a demographic population, there's a lot of fields of study where they don't tell you who they are. It's just like what college they come from. So initially I thought authorship, oh, that's going to be a great keyword. But then it turned out to be a bit of a dud. But how did I do that? I just went under subject and then authorship. Oh, here you can even see authorship. And then you could just, it's like a big mess of stuff. But what I was looking for was like one good thing. Like that the first thing is Spanish. And so there's a lot of stuff about being an author. But you can narrow down to subjects this way. So you could look at, see if we can find social sciences. Boop, 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 yep, there. So if I'm just clicking on social sciences, it's like guides to writing. So I'm not sure that that was the right way to go. Having said that, if you do subject, or you could say it shows up in the title of a document, but we'll do subject since the catalog is formalized. Research question, and you can see here there's like a little star. That means it's research question or research questions, or research questioning, I suppose. And I put it in quotes so those two keywords stick together wherever the search goes. This is something where I'm just kind of casting my net out to see what I can catch. And it's interesting that there's only 328. But I think a lot of this is like, how do you write the question? It's instructions on things like that. So this was okay. It might be worthwhile cruising around to see if you find something in there. You can switch around by switching to title, and then it's different. So instead of 328 results, I think there was like several thousand. But I know what you're talking about. So let's move on. So library homepage again. And the open web, I suppose you could look for this as well. I was thinking it might be in a systematic review or a meta-analysis. That might be the way to go. So if you go to databases, there's a good catch-all database called Social Sciences Premium Collection under S, which kind of is an amalgam of psychology, a little bit of business, sociology, and social work, things like that. Premium. Social Science Premium Collection. This one, you're in that container. And I'm going to go to advanced search, wherever it is. There it is. Advanced search. And I'm going to do the same thing. Research question. And instead of anywhere, I am on this one, instead of doing subjects, well, maybe it would be all subjects. Subject heading. That might be a worthwhile way to go. But document title, if they're talking about the research question and they're talking about it in scholarly articles, I think we can select that down here. Maybe they call it academic journal. I'm going to search. I think it's easier to select it from the facets afterwards. So I'm looking in the title. And then this one, scholarly journals only. Because there's a lot of books, dissertations, newspapers, and other stuff that is not going to be helpful. Like New York Times from 1992. It's not going to help us. So here, it's a research question, not a research question. Maybe somewhere in this 1100 results, you might have to comb through these. So here is qualitative research, the research questions. So it feels like we're on the right track, but it looks like a lot of it is like how to construct a study and things like that. Forming research questions. I don't know. So the next one that I wanted to show you is one of my favorites. So if you're familiar with Scopus or Web of Science, they both sort by the number of times an article has been cited. And so we can look for the most important thing, even in social sciences. I'll show you Scopus, because that's my favorite. But if you're familiar with Web of Science, I think it does the same thing. And right now we're just casting about looking for how the research question can be studied in the way that you were talking about. And you could try authorship again too, but I think that was kind of like, I'm not sure if we should mix and match. So I'm going to do article title, research question. Scopus and Web of Science only have the top tier journals, so we don't have to select by scholarly journals. That's just what this is all about. Of course it's available. I just did it. Let's try again. I did this search right before. Yay! Technical problem solved. Down the left-hand side, you can sort by major field of study, and one of them is social science. There's only 294. That's not too bad to go through. You have to click limit to. So we're in social sciences, and here it's like a framework for formulating, but what we can do is sort by the number of times cited. So the highest impact articles will show up. And this only goes back to like the mid 1990s. You could do this similar search in JSTOR if you wanted to go farther back into the 20th century. So there's modeling, developing research questions. It could be that you have a novel idea that no one has thought of, is like researching research questions. If we cast out into the open web, research question, and did meta analysis, it might look in just like everything. It's just talking about how to do a systematic review. So this is why I have to talk to my colleagues. But dig around. If you find that one perfect article, let me know, send me a citation, and then I'll be talking with my colleagues and see if we can find a better way through. But this is kind of a good starting point.